All right. Welcome to
Quiet!
another episode. Welcome to another episode of Wednesday Night Live. We've got a great show. The dogs are super
Good
excited.
Lord, man.
They want the dogs want in on the giveaway. They're pumped. They're ready to go. They want that box. Tim's going to build a dog house out. They're that small. They would fit in the ZampleBox.
I mean, I love my dogs, but I'm about ready to break out the duct tape. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, to enter the giveaway, guys, all you need to do is share the show link and put X1 in the show comments so we know you guys did it. But we'll keep track of that, and we will announce the winner next week. And that's going to be to anywhere ZampleBox ships on their list. So pretty much worldwide. Well, not worldwide. It would be whatever countries they are shipping to currently. So you'll have to check that list. I guess, Anthony, I guess we could check that list on the ZampleBox page too as well. But wherever ZampleBox ships to, you can enter the giveaway. So basically all you have to do is share the link to the show and put X1 in the comments so we know you did it. How's everybody doing tonight? Brian, how are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. Just, playing around some more with some more, just the same vape stuff again, just kind of putting stuff through its paces and seeing how it's all going to go.
Putting vape stuff through its paces.
Yeah. I'm going to take a mod and see how she vapes.
You do know you have to put batteries in it, right?
Yeah, I actually found out that problem when I picked up this one. I'm like, God, this seems a little light. Push the button and nothing happens. I'm like, well, I can't use that one.
Yeah. Help. The way things are going, we might have to rub two sticks together and drop some e-liquid on it, and then just start rubbing two sticks to get our vape stuff going.
Nah, just go over to your friend's house who has one of those old electric stoves with the big burner coils, and then just drip juice on that, and then just
and just
inhale right off of there. Yeah.
A straw. You get
I
straw.
don't know. It can get as weird as you want to get.
Yeah, you can get.
Why not? What the hell?
How you doing, Tim? What's new with you?
I'm good. I actually had an interesting experience this past weekend, something I'd never done before, and so some friends of mine invited me to go for a foot massage.
Whoa.
So I had never done that. I've never done
fancy
that. Yeah, so the place was called Heavenly Foot Massage, and it was not that. And for anybody who is asking or is concerned or wants to know, there was no happy ending.
I was gonna go there.
There was no happy ending. No, it wasn't it wasn't a full body kind of thing. It was like you kind of went into this room and there were these big fancy chairs, and then they kind of did your shoulders and your neck and then your feet.
Yeah.
So it was like and you got to pick your scent, and they had this interesting kind of magical music playing, and I don't know. It was interesting, and then beyond that, my dog had an ear infection, and it cost me $350. So there's always good and bad in every situation.
You should have got a pedicure while you were there. They do pedicure.
They don't do that there. The name on the tin was Heavenly Foot Massage.
Wow.
And so they soak your feet for about 30 minutes while they work on your upper body, and then they transfer to your feet.
Nice. Did
you
you
have the little fish eating on your feet?
No, but that whole thing interests me. So I see people like, oh, I couldn't take. I don't know. I think I'd probably be I'd want to try that. Not the leech thing. I don't want to do the cupping or any of that other weird crap that's going on. I mean, but the fish kind of doing their little thing.
What's up, Trav?
Yeah, we're never
What's up,
busy.
Trav?
Anytime you guys have a question, just put it in the comments there. We'll answer it. We'll put it up on the screen and answer it as quickly as we can, guys.
Yeah.
What's up, Jackson?
Yeah, Jackson's here. Thomas.
Yo.
How are you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. Had lunch with a friend yesterday. Had lunch with a different friend today. Just pretty much enjoyed my day off. Days off. Yeah, you had a couple days. I did not go get a foot massage.
You didn't get a foot. God, I was going to ask Tim. Did you have to turn in your man card when you walked in there?
Actually, no. I mean, that whole experience, I don't think was really sort of partial to.
No, I would feel good.
That kind of really pampering, like the pedicure angle versus just a massage. So, what's up, Sarah?
Hey, Sarah.
What's up, B Curve? What up? What up, B Curve?
B Curve. I was gonna try to say that, but I'm glad you said it first.
Nah, because you know what? When you
would have murdered it.
We live in a world today where we have to spend a considerable amount of time deciphering license plates.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you get pretty crafty at putting some of it together.
Yeah, some of them are pretty. You got to really think about it. I've sat at lights, just staring at plates and just like trying to put it all together. Just like, okay, what is this guy trying to say here?
Yeah, and a lot of them are so personal that you don't even get the joke or the inside thing that they're trying to promote.
Right.
Yeah. I like the doctors. The doctors get creative with them. The doctors always do. I don't know if you guys ever remember that episode of Seinfeld with the proctologist.
I know. I was not the biggest. Oh yeah, that's a good question, John. What Trav had a good
probably
question.
The 12 bottle, I would assume.
Yeah, but is it in the free or the Nick? Do we know?
I think it's open, so I'm not sure. Anthony will have to answer if it's the 6 or the 12, but I'm going to assume it's a 12 because I think that's what I asked for as part of the giveaway. So let's go with 12, but I will confirm it before the end of the show. But I'm for sure it was probably going to be a 12. And to enter the giveaway, all you got to do is share the link to this show and then X1 in the comments so we know you did it. And next week we'll do random.org and pick a winner, and that winner will get a free sample box, and it will be to wherever ZampleBox ships to. So
yep.
And just think it there's two things that vapors like typically is flavored e-liquid and free flavored e-liquid.
Free.
So I mean, it contains at least one of the things that you like.
Yeah, it'll be free, and hopefully it doesn't have what our poll question is today, and that's your most disliked e-liquid. So if you guys out there have one, put it on there and let us see what it is. And I'm going to pull up. I only put the poll in one page this week, and only because it takes so much to share to write in all those things. So. Let me take that off of there and go figure what number one is.
Can we submit that to the FDA?
Yeah. Can you figure why tobacco won? There's Tim's post. Where'd it go? There's a good look. Look at that good-looking guy right there.
I don't know. That was too much. That's too much handsomeness for me.
Hey, what happened to the post?
I don't know.
You probably just deleted it.
I wonder if it got flagged and got deleted.
Type poll in the search.
No, it's in there. It's in there. It's in there. I had it on there. I think when I tried to
professionalism here.
As soon as I zoomed it, I think I screwed it all up. It's in there. There it is.
All right.
Yeah. Tobacco number one, 47 or 46 people or 43 people 43. Said yes, the tobacco was disgusting and it is their most disliked flavor. And I'm assuming that if I would have put this poll on any other page as well, I think tobacco would have won as well. What do you guys think?
Hold on. Hey, Trav, so you need to share the link to whatever source you want to, the show link. And type X1 in the show comments where you're commenting right now. Yep. So that if we need to trace back because we missed anything, we can trace the comments.
Yeah. We just want to make sure you shared the post, shared the link.
There you go. You just lost it again.
Yeah, I know. I know how far down to go now. So
okay.
Quickly, somebody delete it.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna report that on the page.
You can just delete it, Tim.
I want to make it dramatic.
Yeah, Lycee was number 2 at 23.
Licorice.
Oh, was it licorice?
Yes, that's licorice.
I don't know that I've ever had a licorice vape before.
Oh, I see it. Licorice. I have. Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
A black or a red one?
It was a black. It was a black licorice.
Yeah, so I don't actually mind black licorice, but I feel like I've seen juices that call it a licorice, but I've never actually.
Well, here's the thing about licorice to me is, so when somebody says licorice, I always ask if it's red or black. Yeah. And black reminds me of like an anise form.
Couple hours there, get over it.
I can't do that. Red licorice, I can. Yeah. So that's why I didn't vote for that one. It was I didn't want to distinct which was which.
Yeah, and the coconut one for me was like borderline. I'm like, I guess I can deal with it in certain tropical blends, but then there are times when I just don't like it. When it's like in some desserty vapes, I'm just not a fan. So some I didn't explicitly vote for because I hate it sometimes and like it others.
I tried a really good deep fried coconut. Was pretty awesome.
Yeah, the deep
I'm
fried.
noticing that Amber is in every single one of those dislikes.
Thank you. Get over it. We appreciate you sharing that.
Awesome.
And good luck, buddy.
Yeah, and so 2 hours, and we're only 11 minutes in. So if you got some time, stick around.
Yeah. You got some time to tell your friends to come watch the show so they can share it.
Right.
Yeah. I was surprised grapefruit made the list. Well, I'm not surprised that it made the list, but I'm surprised it was so high up on the list. That's one of my favorites.
Grapefruit?
Yeah.
No. There was one that I had before from a company. I want to say it was either the flavor or the company, but it was called Red.
Oh, Red.
It was in a black bottle with like really sort of like fine ballpoint kind of like font on it, and it was just called Red. I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it since, and my guess is you can probably still find it, but only like in 60 or 120 mil variation.
Yeah, I had a question about the. Scroll back up a little bit. I was cinnamon.
Answering them in real time.
Oh, okay. The cinnamon.
I like cinnamon.
That. Now, is it cinnamon like cinnamon sugar cinnamon, or is it like the red hot cinnamon like
Fireball cinnamon?
We'll get back to you later, Brian. Brian's just trying to complicate the shit here.
That's why I didn't vote for some of these.
Well,
I
could have did the same thing with the banana after I thought about it, because you basically got two different banana flavors. Well, actually, you got your ripe banana
and real banana.
Yeah, and real banana. You got three. Actually,
Cam try crispy bacon, John.
I don't know where Cam's talking about. I don't remember any crispy bacon vapes that are out there that I ever made him try. But yeah,
your fault.
But yeah, bananas. Banana would be three flavors, because you got your candy, your regular banana, and a ripe banana flavor. Those are the three that I've noticed in some of the e-liquids that I have tried. Either they were candy flavored, a regular banana, or a ripe banana flavor. Now, I enjoy the ripe banana flavors better than the other two.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of candy flavored anything, really.
Yeah. Peppermint.
My two favorites of banana were the fried had a deep fried banana, which is really good.
That was really good.
And then Grim Green had a banana glacier, banana mint, which is actually really good too.
Yeah. And peppermint made it a list. Chocolate. I was surprised chocolate was on the list.
I think chocolate is probably one of the hardest ones for companies to replicate, and it works in certain things and it doesn't in others.
Right.
It's just, and usually it's a fine line with most people. Either people like chocolate vapes or hate them.
Yeah, the chocolate works really well with the coffee stuff. That's what I've noticed. Coffee stuff with chocolate in it, like mocha and stuff like that, really work well together. But chocolate, I'm trying to think if I had, what was that one? It was a s'more. I forget who made it. Oh God, was that One Up? No, I don't think it was One Up. It was somebody else that had a s'mores. There was
that the one that came in the blue bottle?
It might have been a blue bottle.
And then that was made by, I believe I have the bottle over there, to be honest.
Well, you two go look in your stashes.
Well,
we can wait.
Barista makes one with that, which is pretty good. The s'mores mocha breeze.
Yeah, that one's not bad. I don't mind that one.
I'm a fan of that one.
I think wasn't that Ruthless that made that?
Yeah, Ruthless. That's it.
They came out with like a s'mores was one of them. They came out with a donut one too, and
that was
some other ones. Yeah, that was actually a very nice mild chocolate in there, marshmallow chocolate.
Yes, they do, Sarah. I vape that one from time to time, but I have to have a cup of coffee if I'm vaping that one. What else? Peanut butter. God, what's the matter with you people?
Right? Peanut butter's delicious.
I'm totally down with the peanut butter.
Of course, cherry too. Cherry's one of those flavors too that you don't find too much.
No, and if you you got to be careful because it can come across as very cough syrupy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That and grape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And menthols made the list.
Key menthols are weird. Sometimes you.
No, that's key lim. You're missing an E.
Yeah. I didn't know who key lim was.
Yeah.
What the hell is K-lim?
All right.
I don't know. You typed it.
Key lime.
I didn't.
I think he meant key lime, but I don't think.
It might have not came all out. Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go and missing the Pat to buy a vowel next time.
Yeah. Passion fruit.
That went right over your head.
I heard it. I heard you. I'm keeping the show rolling. I'm keeping the show rolling.
Oh, okay. So see that people. This is the treatment you get when you come on the show. The head honcho just brushes you off.
I brush him off. I don't have time for the nonsense. Anything that John likes, Brian, smart ass.
Hey, got 2 votes.
I should have voted for that one.
Yeah, I wonder who the 2 votes were.
Can't you check?
Yeah, can you see?
Watermelon made the list. Yeah, I can. No. I think I can. No, because it's just going to take me to you. See, and I'm nuts. Now I got to go back and find the thing again. I swear to God, this is what I deal with every week with these guys. This is what I have to get. Look at that good-looking guy right there.
Nope. Keep going.
I laughed when I saw that picture.
Why?
Clearly, you are delusional, sir.
He's a handsome gentleman. He's somebody you want as a friend.
Why?
Well,
all right, there we go.
Can we have a poll for next week? Do you want John Troncalli to be your friend?
Yeah, he will supply you with e-liquids.
And just make it a yes or no. That's it.
Yeah. Yes or no. Watermelon, lemonade. I was surprised too. It only got 1 vote, but lemonade is a tough. Yeah, it's a tough one because
honeydews and cantaloupes for me have always been kind of like walking into a minefield, right? Yeah. I mean, you can get them and they blend well and it's fine. And then there's other times you put it in your tank or whatever, and it gets in your cotton and in the walls of your tank, and you can't get rid of it. You can dump it out. You can even clean it out, and it just still kind of like lingers. So Bernie.
Yeah, I was surprised that honeydew didn't have more votes, because that's the one I really. It's fine to be part of a flavor, but not to the point where it just overpowers it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big guava. I love guava.
No.
I don't think I've had a bad guava yet.
I'm surprised mango's not on the list.
And cantaloupe.
Yeah, I think mango is kind of like a really tenuous subject. It's like I think it's great, and then other people are like, "No, it tastes like dirty gym socks."
I just don't like it.
And then you'll find people that are like, "Oh yeah, I totally dig vaping durian fruit."
Yeah,
everyone knows what the durian is, right? The durian's that stinky thing that they have on like National Geographic.
Yeah.
And hey, John, let's see what the comments are on that post.
Oh, why? Is there something exciting?
Why not?
Oh, by the way, for anyone who cared about my previous comment, that flavor was called Red, and it was from a company called Crave. ZampleBox used to stock it.
Crave Vapors, yeah.
Yeah, and it is a blend of passion fruit, mango, and grapefruit.
And your mama.
Yeah, and your mom.
Thanks, Tim. I actually really wanted to know that, and I was waiting for you to actually give your answer.
That's a good question, Bernie.
Suck up, Brian.
Suck up. You're not going to get any.
Does e-liquid freeze? I don't think it does. Does it actually freeze?
I don't think so.
I think because of the PG, it doesn't. Right.
Right.
Brian, I think we need to do some science. We're the only two that live someplace where it's cold enough to freeze.
Wait, did someone say science?
Nuclear reaction with the flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science.
Fuck you, science.
Fuck you, science.
Fuck you, science.
So, passion fruit tastes like, oh God. Is this why you wanted me to read the comment?
Well, no, there was only 3 of them, and I figured, kill time.
One was me. Oh man, let me stop sharing this
Well, I
nonsense.
could probably bring some liquid out this week, actually.
You could just put it out front of your house.
Be 33, 28, 23, 29, 28, 22.
Yeah, Trav, we caught it, and we're going to use your comments as playback. So if we have to go back to the show, we'll catch it.
Yeah. So what I might do is I might take 3 different bottles, one like a quarter, one half, one almost full, bring them outside, and I'm going to do some testing for us.
There we go. I don't think it'll...
Just to make sure.
If it's like in the mailbox from the time it's delivered to you get off work, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure when you bring it in, not to open it right away, let it get to room temp.
I'm looking it up.
I do know I've had
about the consistency of like oil.
Yeah, I do know I've had boxes sent to me and the bottles were super cold, but were not frozen.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it can freeze. I remember reading somewhere where it said that you couldn't freeze it.
Pure PG has a melting point of negative 74 degrees Fahrenheit. So a freezing point is going to be much lower than that. So just because of the PG in it, unless you're buying 100% VG, I'd say it's highly unlikely that, I mean, think about it. You can put liquor, just like a straight liquor bottle in the freezer, and that stuff doesn't freeze. Yeah. So I think, the PG factor, right? That's what's an antifreeze, right?
Yeah, nothing like a good ice cold vodka.
Yeah, and who doesn't enjoy a good vape? Who doesn't enjoy a good vape sickle?
Vape sickle.
One thing I do know from testing is that
that should be fine.
Yeah, I think you're good just based on the PG factor, Bernie, because it just says pure PG has a melting point at negative 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is that's ridiculous. Now, I don't think anybody in the United States has ever been in negative 74. Yeah, and that's its melting point.
Yeah. The only time you really having issues during the summertime, though, you guys should get that stuff out of your mailbox as soon as you can. Don't let your e-liquid sit in that mailbox. I know it's hard, but you're not home or whatever. But I always try to get somebody to get it out, especially if you live somewhere where it's like where I live, where it could get to 112, 113 degrees, and and it's sitting in that mailbox. It's horrible.
I think more problems come from e-juice, like in pressure, like flying. You know, you get like leaking issues and stuff like that. And
that's really for tanks, though.
And heat, yeah.
Hey, Bernie, you can also have your post office hold all your packages and stuff until you get back.
Well, they
won't deliver nothing.
You'd be hard to find any more glass bottles, Bernie. I mean, there's not too many of them left.
They're still out there.
There's still there's still a few out there, but
I don't think I've gotten one in eon. Matter of fact, the last ones I actually got were from Hometown Hero e-juice when I got that that Leviathan series or whatever it's called.
Yeah. There's not too many. Everyone's gone to bottles, especially the 60 mils. I mean, the 30 mils, you'll see them eventually, sometimes in the ZampleBox, but those are kind of fading out as well. I think the last time I got a glass bottle was maybe 6 months ago, and I still have it. It's still sitting there. I think
which ones ZampleBox still has that come in the glass bottles?
I think
Space Jam.
But a Cafe Racer, remember them?
Racer,
with the little rectangular bottles.
Yeah. That was one of the best croissant liquids I've ever had. Oh my God, was that delicious.
Yeah, I think that was the only one I think that's the one I got.
Cafe Racer? The only time I ever got a Cafe Racer, the bottle showed up broken. Hey, Lexus, what's going on?
I'm wondering how she knows what poop tastes like.
Everybody knows.
I personally don't know what it tastes like. I've never eaten poop.
I think when most people have a juice they don't like, they say this tastes like poop. Then that would be what poop tastes like.
Poop tastes just like it smells.
Well,
so what you're saying is poop tastes like shit.
I have a few questions for her. Where'd you get the Oreo?
Yeah.
And why were you so hungry? You just had one Oreo.
Yeah. Who eats one Oreo?
Yeah. You'd have more than one Oreo.
Yeah.
Like did you guys see the new Oreo flavor that they're introducing as a permanent one in their lineup?
The pumpkin spice one?
Well, if you don't like coffee, you ain't gonna like it. But it's like a coffee Oreo. Like cookie dough, cookie dough. Hey, Stu.
What's up, Stu? Let me put.
I like the not the black Oreos, but the vanilla ones. The
like the
vanilla colored ones.
Yeah,
not the vanilla ones. Still got the white frosting inside it. But
I don't know. All the Oreo freaks who like coffee are gonna like this.
Anyone just joining the show, we do have a giveaway. All you got to do is share the link to this show on your social media platforms and X1 in the comments, and it'll enter you in the giveaway for next week. And we will announce the giveaway next week with Random Dog or live. So there's no shenanigans here.
Other than our normal shenanigans on the show.
Yeah, there's the only shenanigans are done by the guy on the would be, if you're looking at the screen, it'd be on your right-hand side.
You mean the one right there?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Can you move me and Tim?
No, you don't get to change the rules.
Yeah.
You don't just because you can slide people around on the screen, you were already clearly identified.
Yeah,
you wanted the blue colors, not the red.
Yeah, you were picked. What do we got going on? We are going to share our vape journey. Two of us are gonna do it this week, and next week the other two are going to do it. Tom's gonna go first, so Tom's gonna share a little bit about himself and why he's doing this show. And
I didn't know I had to do that part too.
Well, for those that don't know,
all right.
Tom, yeah, I will share. Me and Tom were the ones that started this show. We wanted to put a show together, and so he's kind of like I don't want to say it because you guys are just gonna make fun of him, but he was kind of like the number two. He was the number two for.
Oh boy, here we go.
So we would
Lexus. There's your poop right there.
Yeah, there's your poop. The poop is in Wisconsin and it's frozen. Nothing like frozen poop. All right, Tom. Go ahead. The show's all yours, buddy. Got your cough mic button? Hit your cough
I'm going to go on mute.
I did. All right. I started smoking when I was about 13 or 14 years old. This is back in 93, 94. I smoked about a pack and a half a day until 2015, when it got to the point where I couldn't bend over and tie my shoes without getting winded. And it has to do with being out of shape as well. It happens. Good food will do that to you every time. And then I switched to vaping. I've been vaping for 5 years. My first setup was an E-Leaf 40 watt with a Kanger Subtank Mini. The liquid that really helped, there was 2 of them. I'm still trying to remember the full name of the other one. One of them. But the first one that really helped was a Captain Crunch flavor. And the second one was a strawberry cheesecake type thing. It was so good. And I've been vaping for, like I said, 5 years. And I'm never going to go back. The reason I'm doing this show is to help the community with any questions that they may have and to help people quit smoking. And I get to hang out with these yutzes.
Yeah. We're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
That's the
even though I don't always say much.
Yeah. What would you say was the hardest for you in the beginning? When you first, what was the hardest part of the transition?
Well, I was doing really good I quit in like August, September of 2015. And then in February of 16, I lost my brother to cancer. So I was still really new to the whole vaping and everything like that. So we got the phone call that my brother was, go say our final goodbyes, stuff like that. And the first thing I did was go buy a pack of cigarettes because the stress. I smoked for about 2 weeks then. And then one day I was sitting at home, had my last cigarette. It was snowing and cold as crap because I live in Wisconsin. And it was February and March. And I was like, you know what? I was down there in Dallas. I went to a shop down there, picked up some Namber juice from Grim Green's line, and at the time I had a cuboid 200 watt with a smoked TFV4, and I just powered through.
Yeah.
So the hardest part, aside from that huge stressor, is for me was probably after I ate, and when I would wake up, I would want a cigarette, and it was the cravings. And it ever since.
You never went with the tobacco flavor to start off
No.
with. You went straight.
I got as far away from tobacco as I could.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you have to have a tobacco yet to get away." But I had more people telling me, "No, pick something as far away, something that you enjoy eating, that you would enjoy vaping."
And those that you don't know, Tom is one of the admins on the ZampleBox page. How long you been an admin now on there for?
Oh wow,
A couple years now.
Yeah, it's been 3 of the 5 years of my vaping journey.
Yeah, it's been about
Yeah.
I'd say about 3 years you've been an admin on there.
2 or 3 years, something like that. It's been a while.
So if you are on the ZampleBox page and you want to give him some hell, just go over there and
Hit me up.
tag Tom.
My DMs are open, or just tag me in random posts, whatever.
He's always available to answer questions. Oh,
Damn boy in the house.
damn boy. And let me see here. How many mods does Tom own? Not quite as many as Tim.
2,
No, he's probably got me beat.
5. Hang on, I gotta count. Move that out of the way.
Hold on,
7.
people. He's got to take his shoes off.
No, I'm still under 10. How about 12?
Oh, that's not bad.
Then I got him.
I
beat.
think.
Yeah, you got him beat.
I got him beat.
I got him beat.
I need a new shelf. I have to get a second shelf. I've run out of space. It's depressing because now the stuff is like sitting in places I don't want it to be.
Tim's gonna go
No
looking
longer
for
shelf, Tim.
Yeah, Tim's gonna go around looking for retail stores that are going out of business to buy their shelving and display cases so he can put them in his house.
Yeah, the one I got was like a 3 foot slotted shelf, and that's already full.
Yeah.
So I've like been wrestling with the debate of whether to take like certain things off, and I'm like, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to have the shelf queens up there too.
I've also got. Is it 1 or 2 coming in, Brian?
No, it's
Brian to the stats.
right now it's 1.
Okay, I couldn't
We're not
remember.
2, but you have other things coming too that don't include shelves. They include desk space.
Bernie, no, he's from
No, I'm from
Wisconsin.
He's from cold ass Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're the only guy who lives in a state that you could say is consistently warm is Mr. JT up there.
Sunny California.
Yeah, I get the 2-3 month winter bug thing going on here.
Oh, 2 to 3 months. How horrible for you, sir.
We had sunshine today here. We had lots of sunshine. It was nice at probably upper 60s, but finally the sun showed up. It was nice today here.
We had fog. We've had fog for the last week and a half now.
Now, what is your favorite device you currently own right now?
That's actually a 3-way tie between my Pulse 2 Squonk, my Minikin Kodama,
Yeah, that's a nice mod.
and my Lustro Kodama.
Yeah.
It's all about the stab wood now.
Yeah.
Getting crazy in my old age.
Get over it is the hardest for me as well. It's tough. I think that, to be honest, that is the only time I actually really crave a cigarette. I don't smoke one. I haven't touched one in 9 years, but when I am, and it's only at a bar for some reason. It's like I'm at the bar.
Anytime I'm around smokers, I just want to gag.
Yeah.
There's nothing good for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just the bar atmosphere or
Could be.
It's not the smoking part because I can't stand the smell of smoke. But for some reason, when I'm at a bar having a couple drinks, it's like, God, I wish I could go outside and have a cigarette. But that's basically the only time I crave one.
Yeah,
Really.
I don't really even. I have plenty of friends that still smoke, and I don't get into debates with them about whether they're doing something that that they could do something different. But how many people are like ultra sensitive to cigarette smell now? Like just the
I am.
whiff of it. Yeah, like me. And,
Yeah.
and trust me, there's no cigarettes in this house, close to this house, anywhere, even in the vicinity. And I went into my closet tonight before the show, and just you just get that whiff of it. I don't know, and I don't know, it's not resident in my clothes or anything, and so I'm super sensitive to the smell of. Not that I'm like "Ugh," like.
I have a
like,
solution for Seamus right there.
Yeah.
Don't wake up in the morning. Wake up in the afternoon.
Wake up in the afternoon. That was in the beginning for me. That was tough. It was probably one of the hardest parts of the day for me when I first started vaping, was not having that cigarette with my coffee first thing in the morning. I mean, most of us had that cigarette before we even took a shower. It was like a cup of coffee and that cigarette. And
I would wake up, sit at the edge of my bed, and have a cigarette before I did anything else.
Some of us old guys would have our coffee, our cigarette, and this thing that used to be called a newspaper. It was this thing that you would get in your front door.
I've seen those.
you had words on it and shit.
It had words on it. You could
had to
hold it. You could hold it, and it had articles and all kinds of stuff in there. And they weren't, and the people were called reporters, not bloggers. It wasn't no bloggers. It was an actual reporter.
Oh, hell, this must have been a while ago, because there are no reporters now.
There are no reporters anymore. But yeah, that's what they used to call them, newspapers.
Yeah, and I used to have those adventures when I was traveling for work all the time, and you'd end up in like Houghton in like the Netherlands or something, and they'd put you on like the 15th floor.
Yeah,
And you'd wake up at like 6:37 in the morning, and you're throwing on whatever the F you can find, and you're riding the elevator all the way down to the ground floor to go smoke because you couldn't smoke in the hotels.
yeah. And didn't you hate that when the windows didn't actually open, so you couldn't just sit by the window and smoke?
Yeah, like you couldn't even
out on the balcony.
cheat. That's why vaping was like awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm like screw that. They're not gonna be able to tell.
Yeah,
I have my little A-Bay unit on me.
I'm going to throw Tom a little tough one. Bring it. You ready? What bit of advice do you give someone that's just getting started to vaping from cigarette?
Well, that's not really that tough, because, as you know, I'm actually helping somebody quit smoking now.
Right, you are right now.
And the piece of advice I told him was the same I tell anybody else. If you have a good product, a good setup device, stick with it. Power through the cravings, and you are going to slip. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up about it, but don't backslide. So have a cigarette occasionally. If you need to. If the vape isn't working, but vape more than you smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's key. I think people need to realize that there's so many, I think
there's so many stressors in the world.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of dual users out there.
Yeah.
I know a couple dual users that are like a year or 2 years into it. They just, but I try to help them out and try to figure out, you gotta quit one or the other. I'd rather.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how you slice the cake, there is no silver bullet, magic button, whatever you want to call it, or easy button. I mean, there is a mind over matter, willpower drive to it. I mean, and that comes with anything. I think where vaping excels beyond some of the other willpower issues is that you do get flavored e-liquid, and you get something enjoyable to offset that habit, and it still emulates a habit that you're currently trying to quit.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Seamus. Congrats, man.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And I always tell, like, I just finished switching somebody over a couple of weeks ago, and I just started another person this week, and I gave them a mod and believe it or not, an RDA with coils, and he blew me away. Well, he's kind of a handsy guy, so he built the coil right in front of me for the first time. just right off the bat, I showed him how to do it. He just boom, 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 put it together. And I was like, okay. And I could tell he wanted to go that route. He didn't want to spend, $4.95 for every coil.
Right.
He doesn't, he's not, well, it made it hard because he's a guy that doesn't, you're going to laugh because there's not too many of these guys left, but doesn't own a cell phone, doesn't have Facebook, doesn't get on the internet. So he didn't want to have to, he wanted to be able to watch, but I had to tell him, I said, that might change here. You might not find a vape shop in Modesto here soon, but he wanted to be able to go into a vape shop and get e-liquid and coils. And he didn't want to have to do it online. But then when I showed him how to build a coil, he was like, oh, I can do that. And boom, I gave him an RDA and a regulated mod. And he's been doing really well for the last couple of days. So, and what I'm finding surprising, and I think we talked about this, but I find it shocking that a lot of people can get off the cigarettes with 3 and 6 milligrams. I think it's shocking.
And the one other piece of advice I would give people is when you make it that first week, first 2 weeks, whatever, celebrate all the small victories of not having a cigarette.
Yep.
Even if it's, one day smoke free, celebrate that.
Yeah.
Tell somebody. They'll be so, and if they're not proud of you, tell somebody else.
Do they still have that app, or is that app still available, or do they pull it off of all the platforms that used to track your?
No, a lot of people still have them.
I don't know if it's still there or not.
Yeah, they might still have it, but they might have already, because it was vape related or smoke related, they might have pulled it off the both platforms, Apple and.
Well, that was a disappointment because they were yanking those apps, which have really nothing to do with vaping as far as promoting tobacco usage. It's basically an app to track your quit. I mean, you could have quit cold turkey and you're just measuring time.
Yeah, same here, buddy. I mean, that was one of my key things on helping me break my habit was building coils.
Yeah, it's the whole doing something with your hands part of it.
Now, do you still have, or did you mention what your first flavor was? Did you?
There's 2 of them.
Your brand?
Brands.
And do you still use it? Probably not, huh?
No, because the Captain Crunch was from Mount Baker Vapor, and I had a friend here that I could get it from a 30 ml bottle for cheap.
Yeah.
The other one actually came in my very first sample box, which was years ago.
Yeah, ZampleBox does ship to Australia, New Zealand. I don't know where you are.
They ship to New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Dan Boy is in Western Australia.
Oh, he's in Western. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure.
It'll take forever to get there, but
yeah. I think we have. Isn't what's his name, Neville from Western Australia, or is he? Because he gets a box.
So.
I believe so. I don't know which part. I know there is a part of Australia that ZampleBox doesn't ship to, I think, right? I'm not sure which one it is, though. It would have to, but you could find that information on the ZampleBox website. They have, you scroll down to the bottom there of the page, and it'll show you all the locations that they do currently ship to and don't ship to, because some of the well, there's still a couple U.S. states that ZampleBox doesn't ship to. Well,
yeah,
we
New York,
we know a couple. Yeah, Utah, right? Utah's a no-no.
I believe so.
There's a handful.
Yeah, there's a handful that you can ZampleBox. So it's good if you're trying to get on the ZampleBox subscription service. It's a good idea to go to their page there, and I think it's you scroll down to the bottom there, and you should be able to find it there, and they'll give you all their locations that they can currently ship to. But that's all may change, right, Timmy boy?
What's that?
Where we ship to.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it could change. It's probably going to change for a lot of people here in the next year.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't already changed for you already.
Yeah.
And it's going to change for everybody anyway.
Yep.
For everybody.
Brian, do you have any questions for Tom?
Come on, Brian. I know you got something.
Well, so when how was your exploring process and you finding out like what liquids you liked and what liquids you didn't like and how you vaped them? How was that process like?
Um,
I know that's
Well-
kind of a complicated question, but
it is, but going into it, I was talking with a buddy of mine that has been in our chats previously, and he was a vapor for well before I started. And I would ask him what flavors are good. And he pretty much said, pick things that you think you're going to like. And he told me he had one that would taste exactly like Captain Crunch. I'm like, hell yeah, I love Captain Crunch because I'm a giant child at heart. So I think I just got lucky in that aspect
Yeah.
until I got ZampleBox and started getting more flavors. And then I was like, all right, this one I don't like. This one I don't like. Like mango, not a fan. You guys can crucify me all you want. I'm not a fan of mango.
What? What the?
I know, it's crazy. And then my first few boxes with ZampleBox, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. But it started getting better as my taste developed. And my taste buds came back, which it's amazing because bacon used to taste really good as a smoker. Now, in my opinion, it tastes 5 times better.
So true, Bernie. So true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, Utah is that weird.
Yeah. Tim, do you have any questions for Mr. Tom?
No, I think you hit all the main points.
Yeah,
I mean, his story was pretty
It's your
full.
chance to ask me anything you want.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Just don't
related.
touch on
Brian, ask my question for me.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I have one. Don't touch on the brother stuff because that's a really sore subject yet.
yeah, no, that's
So,
fine.
Okay.
Do you feel that when people would give you advice on what liquids to try were more genuine or more of a falsehood?
I think it was some of both, honestly, because there were some people that would say, try liquid A. It's phenomenal. You're going to love it. And to me, it tastes like liver and onions.
Yeah.
As
I
an
think-
example,
Yep.
I would never vape liver and onions.
Well,
Who would vape liver and onion?
God.
Hey, one thing I've learned is taste is highly subjective, so I'm sure there's somebody.
Yeah, I think that's just really that's the dagger in it all is a subjective element that's there for everyone.
Yeah, the four of us can tell anybody what flavors to try, but ultimately it's going to come down to what that person likes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Tom, thank you for sharing your story with us.
I was happy to.
I'm going to share mine now next, and Tim and Brian will share their stories next week, and that'll be it. Well, if Madison ever comes back, Madison is our 5th host, but she is impregnated. She has been impregnated.
She's been impregnated.
She's been impregnated.
She sat on a toilet seat.
She sat on a toilet seat, got pregnant, and so she's going to be gone for a little bit here.
There's your pro tip. Don't sit on a toilet seat.
Yeah, wipe the toilet seat off before you.
Hey, Pablo, do you know what the brand name is of that strawberry mango?
Ooh, that does sound good.
See,
I mean, I like mango for sure, so I'm just wondering
mango in
if
it just
you know
killed it for me. I have no interest.
Now, if that was a strawberry banana mango, I'd be all over it.
I'll tell you what'll throw it over the top. The strawberry mango would add ice to it.
Ice, yeah, ice.
Strawberry mango ice.
All right, guys. Well, here's my story. It's been almost 9 years. September will be 9 years. I looked it up. I had the picture saved of the first device that I bought, and it was at a Walgreens, and it was my Blue. And it was funny because I was sitting there. I have told this story before, but I'm sitting out front in my front yard with my little grandson, and my neighbor walks over, and we start talking. And I turn around. Well, my neighbor's looking at me and then looking at my grandson, and he points at my grandson, and I turned around and I looked at my grandson. He had the crayon in his mouth, and he was copying me. He was mimicking me smoking a cigarette. And I was just like, okay, that's it, I'm done. And that, a couple hours after that happened, I went over to Walgreens and someone told me about blues. So I bought a blue. Those worked. It worked for me, and I was buying and vaping the shit out of those. I don't know if some of you remember those. Tim, did you start with one of those as well?
I had the blue kit. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I was going through those cartridges like crazy. It was helping me not want a cigarette, but I was still kind of sort of like a dual user for about a couple of weeks. And that first device that I bought that really kind of made me put the cigarettes away. You guys are going to laugh because I don't know if a lot of you guys saw this device, but they had an e-liquid and they had a little device that were selling. And I don't know if it was just out here. So if anybody else has seen these, let me know. But of all companies, Zigzag had an e-liquid line, and they had a little mod with what was it with the, God dang it, now I can't remember the ego, not the ego, but the old what were the tanks, Brian? You remember the name of the tanks? The old tanks.
Old cartomizers.
Yeah. And I bought their e-liquid. I think it was crazy because it came in a little 5 ml bottle, and I was paying like $15 for this little bottle. But back here in Modesto, we didn't really have a lot of e-liquids. Well, that was before I knew that we had a little kiosk at the mall that sold e-liquids. But that's how I got started. And I used that Zigzag mod for, I don't know how long. I had that thing for quite some
Got the
time.
picture for you.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on. Yeah, it had the clearomizer on it.
Nope, that's not it.
No.
Oh, what?
No, yeah, no, that's not it. Yeah,
What?
Nope, it was. That was not it either. I can't. It looked like a regular ego pen, but it didn't.
That's what this is. It's an
but
ego
that-
pen with a clearomizer on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at that other attachment on the far
No,
right.
yeah, ignore that.
Yeah, ignore that part of it. Yeah. But it worked. It worked really well for me, and I bought like 3 of those devices. So I had one all the time charged and ready to go, and it worked. It worked really well for me until I think the mod that I bought right after that one. Well, we all did back then. We started buying Wismec products, and I learned my lesson really quick that a Wismec product back then lasted about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it would always take. They were leaking. They were all leaking, and then I kind of found this flavor, and this is the one that kind of stopped me completely from smoking cigarettes. And the company was Pat Clouds, and it was their. Now I wish that's what I said. It's the way you
Pat.
Pat. And it really worked. It worked really well for me. And it was a banana. It was a banana custard. What else was in that damn thing? It was banana custard and peanut butter. And that vape, that was done. I vaped that for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years. And I found that in ZampleBox because back then I think this company was out back east. So I would have never seen this company if it wasn't for the ZampleBox and getting it in my box. And then from then on, I kept ordering as much as I could from them to ship out to me, and that worked great. It was a great product. It tasted good, and I could get it at any time I wanted. And I don't know if they're still around. Actually, I think the company moved to Washington, but now I think they may be out of business.
I think all the old companies are out of business.
Yeah, Town Center, Tacoma, Washington. So I don't know if they're still in business or not, but they still have a Facebook page. So I don't know. Maybe they are still in business. But then I started. What's that? Oh, who's screenshots? The brands.
It was called Fat Clouds. PHAT. Fat.
Yeah. And that helped me out. And then I started taking pictures of stuff, and that's where it all kind of changed for me. And I started to get to see a lot of products over the years. I did pictures for Dot Mod and God, I can't Hell Vape, every company you could imagine. And there I am. I think most of you guys know who I am, but I did pictures for them, for just about everybody on there. Example in the beginning, Dot Mod, got Hell Vape, Dalpo, goddamn, I Wismec, you name it. I did pictures for them, and that kind of helped me to see all the different products and get to taste a lot of e-juices and e-liquids and stuff like that. So it was easy for me. And then, but like I said, building was the key to me because that was my hardest point in the time was at night. So at nighttime, if I didn't start building, I would have just went nuts. I mean, that was for me. Was it for you guys as well at night, late at night, and I started building. That's my story. You guys have any questions for me?
No, because I've heard that story like 100 times.
No, you didn't. You haven't even known me that long to know that story for 100 times.
I've heard that story often.
Yeah, I've told that story about my grandson.
See, but John, you were one of the fortunate ones because you got involved in the vaping industry from a different angle than a lot of us who were just general consumers. Now, I mean, we're maybe a little bit more embedded because we're closer to companies or other advocates or influencers and stuff. Doesn't mean that we get anything because of that. Just so everybody's clear, it's like it's not like my mailbox is loaded up with free stuff. It's far from the truth. But John's journey certainly was a little bit different. So, what would you say? Outside of the fact that you had your journey, what would you say was one of the things that really solidified your affinity for vaping beyond just the fact that it helped you quit smoking? Was it the community? Was it the expos that you went to? Was it your involvement with ZampleBox?
It was the communities. That was the thing that blew me away is when I saw ZampleBox for the first time on an ad on a website, and I signed up for them. And as I think they still do it now, but back then, as soon as you signed up, they sent you the link to the community page, the family page.
Yep.
And I went there, and I was one of those guys that I got on the page and I was there for like 6 hours. I was just typing in questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And then I saw my first RDA. I was like, how can I get that material? Where do I go to get it? And everybody was so helpful on that ZampleBox page. And I was just like, it blew me away. And then when I started taking pictures, I realized how tight knit the group was when you went to the shows. And when I got to the shows and it was just like, hey, there's Smile King. Everybody you're in that little group, that little circle of everyone that knows you from Instagram and from the ZampleBox page and from other pages. So, and it was just so inviting and friendly, and everybody constantly want to help you. And back then, you just went to the booth and try this, try that, try this, and it was hilarious because like that first show I went to, I literally didn't have to buy a single bottle of e-juice because everybody kept throwing samples in my bag.
Yeah.
I had to go to my car and dump all the e-liquid that I had because I couldn't carry. I had my backpack with all my camera gear and everything. And I was like, holy shit, I feel like I got 100 pounds. But yeah, the community was just amazing. And the thing that was really amazing to me was getting to meet all those influencers from YouTube at the shows and seeing how friendly those guys were and how helpful they wanted to be. And you can see it, that saying when you can see it in someone's eyes that they really care about what they're talking about and they have passion for it. I mean, I saw that literally in everybody's face, and it wasn't about selling a product and making a profit, but more so like they wanted to really help you quit smoking. And that's what I thought was awesome because that felt amazing. And when I got to meet Tony for the first time, the owner of ZampleBox, and getting to sit down and talk to him for like 2-3 hours, that's the feeling I got. To me, I never at any point in time talking to Tony did I feel like it was about the money. It was about him making sure that he could get this product to people, today. and they can make that transition from smoking to cigarettes. And I
real
thought
quick, get over it. Hold that thought. We'll come back to that question.
yeah.
Also, I want to hit on what Bernie said too,
Where is Bernie?
where he said stream is really interesting. I just want to take a quick second to say thank you for those kind words.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, no, and thank you to you guys for
Yeah.
being here week after week, because this is really, it's not, we're not here just to hear ourselves talk. This is the kind of engagement that we want, is the people that are in the chat and the people that share similar journeys to us, have the same concern and cares about staying away from smoking and helping others quit smoking. And so, if anything, we'll bring a little bit of our experience and our experience to the table and answer questions and things like that. But certainly, it's about you guys too, and the fact that I can see while the chat's going on, you all are suggesting things and helping each other too. So I mean, that's
awesome.
That's just a reflection of exactly why we're all here.
Yeah, and then that's when I was, we first started doing the show. I told Tom, I was like, we need to do a show. At first, our show was only on the ZampleBox family page, and I told him, I wanted to do a show that was about the community. I didn't want to do a show about brands. I didn't want to do a show about, what we're doing or what we're vaping, but instead of doing a show that what we're using that was successful, not just brands that we, because that's what I'm not saying all the shows are like that, but I did want a sponsor, but I figured if we were ever going to have a sponsor, it would be ZampleBox, because it's everybody, it's the community, it's all these different brands, and I just wanted a show that people could come on. We would still love to have you guys hit us up and on our email if you want to be spotlight, because that's the most important part of this.
Don't be camera shy.
Don't be camera. We're nice. We're nice guys. We're nice guys.
Look at these 4 ugly mugs.
Yeah.
You probably just blow us away.
Beautiful bearded bastard. Come on.
You and your beard butter.
Yeah, that's what the show was about. In the beginning was just, getting people to come on, share their stories, help others, and let them know what was successful for them, and how the processes that they went through, and that's what we wanted to do with this show. We wanted people to come on, share their stories. We didn't want to show that all we talked about is, we didn't want to show that we spent 15 minutes just telling you what we're vaping and using. We didn't want to
check anywhere.
Yeah, I can do a hand check somewhere else. We just wanted to show that
Thank you, Dan.
people come on here, share their stories. Yeah, share their stories and help the community and stay informed. That's why we have Tim do the news. We want people to stay informed on what's going on in our community and act on those. Not just play it off. Oh, somebody else is going to do it. Someone else will take care of it.
Yeah, but I think another underlying factor too is that that we shouldn't even, within the vape community, we shouldn't even promote levels of competition, because it seems like through the advocacy fight that we're kind of all tapped into a little bit, because we're affected in some way, shape, or form, whether it's the USPS vape mail ban or whether it's your local state level or city level bans. You see a lot of people nitpicking at each other, over granular elements of vaping. Like, well, if we got rid of this, then we could save vaping and all that. I don't want to say that some of those might not hold a little bit of weight, but what I would like people to get away from is remember that we are a community and we're all here for the same reasons, whether it's you like mech mods or regulated mods or sub-ohm tanks or pod systems or disposable shit. I don't care. You could still be a Juul vapor at the gas station. The idea is that it's tobacco harm reduction and that we're all working for the same goal. So it should never be about who's making the best RDA or who's the best mod maker. There's always going to be a niche person for every little component of it. So it's about bringing it back to community and standing up together and remembering why we're here, not how we can divide.
Right. And like I said, if you guys, we love spotlights. We want to bring those back to the show. Don't be nervous. You could, here's a suggestion. And I think Brian has made this suggestion and somebody else. If you want to pre-record your spotlight, we'll send you the list of questions. You can pre-record it, send it to us, and we'll upload it and play it on the show. If you're nervous of being live, We're willing to even do that. We want you guys to share your story with the community. And like I said, you might help someone else that may be going through the same issues that you're having. And you might have a trick that worked for you that might work for them. So why not share that story? So again, if you want to be spotlighted, that's the email right down there, Wednesday night live show at gmail.com. If you want to pre-record it, let us know. If you want to come on live, we only require a few things. One, a quiet place. Two, decent internet. And you could do it on your phone. I have one of my other shows. The guy does the show, the whole show on his phone, and it works great. It works fine. And the last one, headphones. If you're going to do it on a phone, please have headphones. But and decent lighting. That's it. We want to see your face.
Yeah. So to back it up, if Pablo's still watching, thank you, sir. I did find that finest strawberry mango ice. So thank you for the lead. Two, I'll address the two as third. But was it who was it? Somebody asked about what's the latest with vape mail. I just saw this. Okay, so for Dan or anybody watching, so the USPS vape mail ban passed on the federal stimulus omnibus bill. It was not removed. It was not redlined. It was not taken out. So 90 days. Well, some are hearing differently. So I will follow up for you guys on that one. Some were hearing sooner than that, but it was supposed to be 90 days from the signing of the bill when the president actually signed it. So that would indicate sometime in March, most likely, because it passed right before January.
Right before January.
All right, so we're on borrowed time with that one. To tether off of that, FedEx is also following suit with that. So that means that starting March 1st, 2021, FedEx is going to stop carrying vape mail. Now, whether or not they know it's in the box, that's one thing. But I'm going to guess there's probably vape companies that are probably on a little short list. They probably know places that they can no longer go and pick stuff up. So that leaves UPS, and my prediction on UPS is it could fall either way. I mean, they could see a real revenue gain for them in this, but then they're also the martyr on the shelf, right? They're like, okay, well, everybody else is going to drop it. Do we stand up and continue to do it?
Yeah.
Now, there's another element to this. And that is that the vape shops, as far as I understand it, the vape shops, distributors to vape shops may still be able to use USPS, but they just have to register with this. I forget the name of the PACT Act, I believe is what it's called.
PACT Act, yes.
Yeah. So basically, they'll be able to receive shipments at the store level, but not to the consumer level, and they also have to register everybody who buys from them online. They have to report revenue, and they have to log and keep a record of everybody who buys from them. So, we'll see what happens there. Awesome, Kiki.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Ks. I had to work my way through that one.
And Sarah, go ahead.
I have a remedy for camera shy.
Imagine Tom in his underwear.
No, just do it just like this, where it's just audio.
Yeah, just Sarah, you could pre-record it on your cell phone and just send it to me, and we'll upload it, and you won't have to. It's 10 we have 10 questions. It's pretty simple, 10 questions.
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
What's your favorite drink?
No. All right, guys. Well, we are going to
wait. I have the third question to answer before it gets lost in the stream. There was a question about somebody was asking about a good MTL vape. So there was a follow up to that one for me, a question on a question, and that is, when you say MTL, do you mean more like a pod based MTL type system, or are you looking for an open tank MTL setup like a MTL RTA or something to that effect? So if you could come back with the answer to that question. I'm sorry I answered your question with a question, but it helps us to answer the question with specifics.
Right.
Yeah.
The more information you can give us in the question helps us answer your question.
Yeah. Or I could just
also what your budget is.
Yeah, exactly. What, as Grim would say, what are your budget hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that is our email address, Wednesday Night Live Show.
We also have a Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter is on there. Do I have the Twitter on here? I don't have a
at Show Wednesday.
At Show Wednesday, it's on there. I'll get it up there. This is our news segment, and Mr. Tim down there is going to give us a little bit of news. What you got for us? What you got for us, Tim?
You know what? I got all kinds of. I got stuff. It's in there. It's in there. I got stuff. Oh look, you had to go ahead and give me the solo camera. All right, I feel better. Hold on. Wait, do it the other way around because that way I don't want to be bigger than the article. It's not about me. I mean, you know.
Oh, okay. So wait. All right.
I mean, I could hair whip during the news report, but that might just get everybody sick to their stomach. You know, like, you know, this ride contains, you know, flashing.
You don't
lights,
need to give people motion sickness.
Flashing lights and hair whipping, and so anybody who might be sensitive to those factors.
I thought you were going to go with the one that you see in the car mirrors. Objects may seem farther closer than they appear.
I don't know. I don't think anybody needs to see me up that close. I mean, you know, I'm already close enough. All right, let me make sure this is big enough. All right, so the stories tonight, one feel good, one sort of feel good, and then an advocacy story. So why do I always end the show on a bad? Maybe I should start from here on out with the bad news.
Yeah.
And then end with the good news. So like everybody's upbeat because I'm sure I'm probably draining the crap out of people by the end of my news report. They're like, oh, dude, why did you have to bring me down, bro?
Bring me down, Timmy.
Dude, man.
I had to up my Nick level after the news.
Exactly. I'm already constipated and you just friggin' didn't help. All right. So I got 3 items for you. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was a bit of a feel-good story. I had read about this story before this actually procured itself. So as everyone knows, when the pandemic hit, a lot of companies, small businesses and manufacturers completely altered and changed their manufacturing setups to start producing hand sanitizer because, as we all know, that was one of the shortage items on the shelf when the pandemic first broke out. It was toilet paper, paper towels, and hand sanitizer because we were supposed to... Yes?
Get Over It has responded.
Okay, all right, cool. Then you know what? We still got showtime. Are you going to be around for a little bit? Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about both angles, right? Because you can MTL depending on your experience level or what your comfort level or your portability level. So, you know, we got all kinds of suggestions.
We could table that for right now.
Yeah,
that's what they call that. We call that in the business catchword thing. We call that parking. We need to park that. And just keep moving on. So let's keep move on. Thank you for the response, though. I had read about this prior, and like I was saying, a lot of small companies, distilleries and vape companies specifically, were 2 of the biggest ones, decided to alter their manufacturing lines to creating hand sanitizer for people because people couldn't get it anywhere. Well, during the time that they were coming up with the definitions and the terms around the CARES Act, they had not established. I guess I should clarify. So there was a registration that needed to take place. So all these companies that were going to switch over and start producing hand sanitizer, they had to register with an agency. It was called the OTC Monograph Drug Program. Now, what that Monograph Drug Program means is that certain companies are given the ability to produce over-the-counter drug remedies without sort of pre-authorization, right? So if there are kind of known things that can be made by other companies, as long as they registered on this list, they were able to go ahead and produce hand sanitizer based on a recipe that the FDA prescribed and how to make it. So not all the companies registered, but there were quite a few that did because they were good people, and they wanted to make sure that they were on the list and that they could legally do what they were doing so that, they wouldn't get sued later or anything like that. So a lot of these companies switched over. Now, at the time the CARES Act was determined, they hadn't clearly outlined all of the parameters around the CARES Act kind of rules and regulations that were required to follow. And about, I don't know, maybe a couple days before the end of the year from when people started making the hand sanitizer, they were going to charge these distilleries and vape companies about a little bit over $14,060 for being registered to be able to make hand sanitizer. And they announced this like 2 days before the year's expiration. And then if you didn't unregister from the program, because a lot of these companies are back to doing what they're doing, and that's making alcohol and e-liquid. If you didn't unregister, they were going to hit you with another $14,000 for the following year. So some of these small companies were getting ready to face a fee of anywhere from $14,000 to about $28,000. And luckily, the Human and Health Services Chief of Staff, Brian Harrison, stepped in and said that no, he didn't agree with that at all. That these companies that stepped up in a global pandemic and came to the aid of our fellow citizens, that they shouldn't be fined or feed for that, that they should not be charged for that money. So he effectively instructed the FDA to retract that and abandon any pursuance of that fee. Now, mind you, so this was Skip Murray. I don't know if anybody know who Skip is.
Skip. Oh, yeah, that's. Oh, no, never mind.
I know.
Ohio.
She actually lives in Minnesota. She actually does a lot of advocacy. She's been to quite a lot of advocacy events, and she posts a lot of harm reduction stuff and helping people quit smoking stuff. She's probably one of the sweethearts you've probably ever met.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that she does that kind of stuff. But she's the one that kind of promoted this one particular thing. Now, it would be interesting to also note that most of the hand sanitizer that the vaping and distillery companies actually made did not actually even sell the hand sanitizer. In fact, they donated it to the frontline workers and people in that realm of helping people. So it was actually donated hand sanitizer, and not sold. So that said, I just kind of thought it was a nice story to kind of see that, they were given a break, and that there are people in this world that have a conscience.
Yeah, Barista. I think Barista did masks. I think they went and supplied masks to the actual hospitals and some other places as well. I remember when that first came up with the shortage of masks. Barista, the company, the e-liquid company, went ahead and supplied some of the facilities in Washington with masks. So that was very cool. There was a lot of vape companies stepped up to the plate when.
Yep, and that's it's sort of a, I don't know. I kind of feel I don't want to call it the coup de grace, or I don't want to, I would just say it's sort of like a bittersweet kind of thing, because you see vaping companies stepping up and helping the community, which is really what they're doing already. And while they'll come to the aid of their fellow citizens and help do something like this, they're under fire. I mean, these are companies that are effectively potentially getting ready to lose their livelihoods based on their investment in the vaping industry and getting people off cigarettes. So it's kind of a bittersweet story in the same sense, but I still think it was sort of a feel good that that a bunch of people were spared.
Yeah, I find it funny that the FDA decides that because all these companies are giving this stuff away that's needed, they're trying to make a buck off of it.
Right. Yeah. So I think it goes without saying that we all kind of have a bit of a sour taste in our mouth for government in general when it comes to vaping, because they're not really following the real science of it, and they're not even listening to the general public at all. They've got their own agendas to follow. So there's that one. And now the next one, I saw this and I started to read it. I started to look into it. Hold on, come back. Now this one's a little bit more of a study, but I started reading into it. I just thought it sounded really interesting. But I started to quickly realize that I may have bitten off a little bit more than I could chew. And so this one centers around nicotine pharmacokinetics. Now, maybe I just picked it because I like to say that word, pharmacokinetics. And it has to do with science.
John?
See,
Gotcha.
John missed his cue. So,
He did.
all right. So
Oh,
John
I'm
is
sorry, I was
John
typing-
is immediately fired from the show.
I was answering a
Next
question.
week,
Nuclear reaction with a flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science!
I was typing something in.
We talked about this before the
yes,
show
we
started.
had guys. We had this all set up.
Yeah,
It was ready to go. He was gung ho. He was going to get his cue word.
yeah,
Delivered it flawlessly.
yeah. I know.
And he's over there probably
Died on the floor.
No, I was
tweeting some blonde.
I was writing something in the private comments. So you
Oh,
guys,
all right.
which you guys need to read.
All right, so this one's going to involve the gang here because we're going to kind of take a look at some charts here at the particular. So I tried to keep the notes a little short on this one. So this was a data analysis done on essentially the effects of nicotine in the system, right? So there's different variables that can kind of determine how nicotine affects your system. Now, I had never heard of pharmacokinetics, but I do think that studies like this are worthy, right? Because that's one of the general arguments that tends to come up in the news, and you hear a lot of it is how nicotine is going to affect the kids and the developing brain, and that we're trading one addiction for another, and it's worse than heroin and all this other stuff. But it's also well known that nicotine has beneficial effects as well and gets kind of glazed over. But this one specifically addressed nicotine and vaping in general. So this data analysis was an evaluation of pharmacokinetics for nicotine and the absorption rate factors that are involved with nicotine. So that is, the factors surrounding absorption with nicotine, e-liquid composition, user behavior, and device characteristics. So they wanted to take a look at the broad spectrum of all elements of vaping because they weren't sure that just having nicotine and e-liquid is enough to determine whether or not it's too much, not enough, or just the right amount. So the hypothesis study of the correlation, it was a hypothesis study of the correlation between the relative amount of nicotine in e-cigarettes. Is that a word? I can't use that in
It is
Scrabble.
now.
I just made it up. So everybody can use e-cigarettes. That's a new word.
Cigarettes.
E-cigarettes.
Do this with your hand when you say it. Cigarettes.
E-cigarettes.
There you go.
It sounds very royal now. Versus e-cigarettes, e-cigarettes versus the amount absorbed by the body, and if it was consistent across device types. It was observed overall that the open tank systems and devices that allow adjustment and power can deliver high levels of nicotine over combustible cigarettes, even with lower nicotine concentrations. So you kids with the DeWalt toolboxes that have like 45 18650s in it and are vaping at like 450 watts, y'all are nicking it up. All right, so chill. Y'all relax.
Chill.
And they claim that it was a difficult study to conduct simply because of, here's another word, and you know what, I'll highlight it
Highlighted.
in the article. Let me bring it up, just so
Not
people.
that I would
Well,
be able to pronounce it, but highlight it. Knock yourself out.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of the, so I mean, feel free to say that one yourself. Heterogeneity.
Sounds good to me.
Heterogeneity.
Sounds good to me.
I'm with it.
Of the vaping category, having a wide variety of devices and delivery methods. So what they meant is that there are acute differences among devices. So whether or not you're talking about an open system like sub-ohm tank or an RTA or an RDA, a refillable type situation, versus like a closed pod system like a Joule or a Caliber G or something to that effect. That's not closed, that's open, but you know, Joules are a closed system. I don't know. And then the disposables and all that other stuff, right? So there's inconsistencies across the device spectrum as well.
Good
So
way that word is being diverse, or the thing itself is actually different. That's means.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was there's a word that comes into play, like where you get something that's passed down from your family members.
Inherited.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it was something to that effect. But anyway, heterogeneity. So
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Pop that one on your friends.
Quality or state of being diverse in character or content.
There you go.
So,
Pharmacokinetics looks at maximum blood concentration, time to maximum blood concentration, and overall blood nicotine exposure. So that's what pharmacokinetics basically studies. It was thought that if the pharmacokinetic profile is relevant to that of a combustible cigarette and electronic cigarettes, it is more likely that e-cigarettes will be accepted as satisfying alternatives. So I think that's maybe something that is worth a study. And it has to do with our own stories, right? Because a lot of us got started on some smaller device like a Blue or an Enjoy or a Halo or any one of the menagerie of devices that were out there. And I think the general concern with them is that people are less likely to stay with it if it doesn't emulate or provide the same satisfaction that a normal cigarette would provide. So that's what that's kind of what they were looking at. This creates discrepancy in how nicotine in e-cigarettes is regulated globally. For example, Canadian scientists don't feel that the TPD regulations in Europe in Europe are too low. So even in the science community, can we just use that from now on? So
Sure.
So if pharmacokinetics comes up, I'm just going to say Sega Genesis in its place. Good point, Bernie. So at any rate, there's disagreement even in the science community with regard to European and Canadian scientists. Just so everyone is aware, with regard to TPD regulations in Europe, they limit the nicotine cap to 20 milligrams per milliliter. Whereas in Canada, they have a different way of measuring it. They mention what it is in this particular article, but by indication, it would imply that they can get higher nicotine content levels. Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about 20 milligram and above, you're pretty much addressing salt nic, right? So, but that's again another argument in what people want to try to cut back on is cutting back on nicotine levels because of the kids shouldn't be vaping nicotine. It's illegal, kids. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal. Under 21, it's illegal.
Hands off.
Right. So the conclusions were that nicotine intake is difficult to measure as vaping behaviors are complex and uniquely individual and cannot be explained away by the basic. Oh my God! Here we go. It's not Sega Genesis.
Are we learning another new word today?
You are. This is your third big word for the day. Psychopharmacological.
Whoa. I'm gonna play Scrabble.
Bernie, come up with a good relevant parallel word. Psychopharmacological.
Ooh.
Good luck with that one, brother.
Yeah.
By the
PlayStation.
Right, so can't be explained away by the basic psychopharmacological effects of nicotine. Also, no two vices are created equally, and many behave quite differently and resulting in differing levels of exposure. They also found a unique difference, and we'll get to the charts. We won't spend a lot of time on this, but they also found unique differences in whether or not someone was an experienced user versus someone who was just getting started. So not everybody is huffing on a mech mod or an unregulated mod and blowing massive clouds. They might just be using some small little MTL device or something like that. So they found unique differences in that. So their bottom line was they said instead of focusing on the soul. God, my sentence was horrible here. Instead of focusing solely...
Hold on, Tim. I just love the fact that Tim is fucking up tonight, and
right?
It's not me.
Well, you know what? And it's true because my fingers got ahead of my brain on that one.
Thank you, Tim.
I'm man up. I'm man up each time. I mess up just like the next person. So instead of focusing solely on the nicotine content in e-liquid, they thought that a more pragmatic approach might be product standards which ensure quality and safety to provide an appropriate level of consumer protection. So basically what they're saying is just kind of make it consistent so that it doesn't go too high and it doesn't fall too low. So I just thought that this article basically was worthy of viable research that's going on, as opposed to the funded research that tends to paint a really bad picture of it. Now, we can look at some of the charts in here real quick. So their baseline was look how, this is why I said I kind of bit off more than I could chew, because I started scrolling and I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to put this into like 12 little bullet point lines? I mean, otherwise we would have been here all night.
Are those pie charts?
like
No,
pie.
they're graph like interval charts right here. So here's an example.
You know what? That looks like a lot of science.
Nuclear reaction with a flux capacitor. Carry the two changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science!
And yeah, that's why I'm not a scientist. So I leave it up to the scientists. So the graphs are all basically the same. They do kind of give you a legend to sort of follow. But this is your baseline for cigarettes in terms of nanograms per milliliter. So anywhere from 0 to 45 nanograms per milliliter in a cigarette. So this is your target baseline in here. This was standardization for cigarettes based on nicotine consumption. And you can down here see that based on devices, how they were measuring nicotine exposure based on the nic levels. Yeah. So so there was a gradual slope, obviously, as nic levels went up. But they go into a little bit more detail down here. Now, if there's a numbers person or someone likes to actually look at this stuff, feel free. ScienceDirect.com and just type in pharmacokinetics.
I was going to hit the button again. You said the word, but I didn't.
Sega Genesis. Don't type in Sega Genesis. So they kind of measured a lot of different things here, and I'm not gonna go on and on and on about it. But I think it is a viable study, because I hear too much about how mice were exposed to vapor and now they've got cancer, and I say that's BS, because what you're exposing those mice to isn't probably what an average vapor
right
exposes themselves to. Our habits are all different. We all vape differently. So not even all of us are created the same in terms of our exposure to. Now we're not putting 14 joules in a styrofoam cup and doing shit like that.
Forcing them on mice.
Exactly. So anyway, interesting article nonetheless. I somewhat feel good just because it wasn't negative on vaping. How about that? All right, moving on. Here comes the big letdown, kids. The advocacy part of the show, right? So it seems like things are coming more furious, and yeah, that's true, Seamus. And not to mention, those mice were already mice that were
cancer. Yeah,
yeah, they were already compromised mice. Apparently, these were mice that were more susceptible to cancer than the mice that already get cancer anyway. Yeah. So I try to report on advocacy every week. I try to get ahead of the story so that you guys can be a little vigilant. So. There was one from last week that I talked about. I forget the area now. It was up. I forget. I'll come back to it. But anyway, this one has to do with. No, I just
Connecticut, maybe.
No, this is Connecticut right here.
Okay.
There was another one from last week. Then I just maybe it was Nebraska or something like that. The one that was on the fast path, that they were trying to get the legislation into law by the beginning of June 2021. So they're fast tracking it. This one has to do with Connecticut. So all you Connecticut vapors, people that are still happily vaping in Connecticut, basically it's expected that the lawmakers will reintroduce Government Lamont's legislation to ban the sale of all nicotine products in pharmacies and e-cigarettes within 5 miles of schools. Not shocking if you're trying to keep the kids away from it. They feel that that's worthy. Senator Saud Anwar also introduced legislation to ban open and closed vaping systems and related products, i.e., meaning e-liquid. And there's a third bill. These were all sort of introduced at different times. However, it kind of failed at the end of the legislative gestation. They didn't pass in time. But another bill would also require online purchasers to produce proof of age before purchasing transactions can be completed, which I think we kind of already have stuff like that in place. But I know that when you order from some online vendors, they'll call you on the phone or send you an email and ask you to take a picture of your driver's license and send that over to them so they can validate your age, basically. So if you know, it ends up in some kid's hands, you know, they can say, well, here's the ID that they showed me.
Busted.
Yeah, so the bottom line here is that State Representative Jonathan Steinberg said that the key goal overall is to ban flavored vapor products, period, across the board. And Kevin O'Flaherty, doctor for campaign, Kevin Segagenesis, doctor for Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, said the goal is to eliminate flavors, including cigarettes, and they are trying to mirror the Massachusetts law that was effectively passed. So, if you're in Connecticut and you have an opportunity, I would speak out now. If you're not afraid to email your representatives or make your case known, or you want to pick up the phone and call your representative, I suggest you start chattering now.
Chat.
Yeah, and just try to get your stories out to these people, or at least tell them that you oppose us. Now, they want to kind of do an assessment of things, but in the end, actually, that was another new one that I just popped up on the ZampleBox page. Oh, it was Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, Arizona, you guys need to keep your eyes open too, because Phoenix, Arizona is in the process of opening up an assessment inquiry, and they're going to start looking at the opinions from small businesses and vape providers, and probably do like a net health loss gain benefit kind of thing. See how it's going to affect the economy as well. But I would not put it past them to try to introduce legislation in Phoenix, Arizona. So Connecticut, Phoenix, Arizona, and I will tell you, I will go back to the one from last week. I just don't remember what it was right off the top of my head right
Yeah,
now.
that's one of the greatest quotes ever right there by Mr. Cuomo himself.
Yup.
Sorry,
Vaping
didn't mean
is-
to do that.
Yeah, vaping is better. So what?
Yeah. Technically,
Technically.
is vaping better? Yes,
Yes.
but so
So
what?
what?
Yeah. So that's kind of, so that's your news for
That
the
is
day.
the news.
I apologize for the awfully ugly scientific one, but it had to be done. It was did. Yeah. So Michael, I would say just in general, I would, if people here aren't registered with CASA already, we always suggest that you go over to casaa.org and just get registered up with them and follow your local. They do it by national level and state level, and you can kind of pay attention to what's going on in your community if there is any legislation on the table. Another thing that I was going to mention from earlier about the USPS vape mail ban is that there, and I will try to confirm this as well, but I've also heard that there will be open commentary period on that as well. Now, granted, it was signed. Is the open commentary period going to benefit anyone? I don't know, but yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. That's your city. They're not talking about the whole entire state yet.
Everybody, thank you, Tim. Thank you for
Thank you, Tim.
doing the news and informing us. Okay, in this section of this show, we're going to go ahead and open it up to you guys, answer some of your questions. We did have the question on the MTL. I'm not sure if that person has
Here.
added the extra information that we asked for, but it's really it's really important when you guys ask us a question as far as devices and stuff like that. Kind of give us an idea of what your budget is. And if you do own a device that you want to put an RDA on or an MTL or whatever like that, let us know what it is so we can get an idea whether or not we can recommend a 22 millimeter RTA or RDA or a 24. So knowing what device you have will help us, because nobody wants hangover. So let us know that kind of stuff. Let us know what your
Overhang, you mean?
yeah, let us know what your budget is. Let us know what device you have, and what else, guys?
Yeah, so MTL. All right,
Color preferences.
okay, all right, color. Well, I mean,
Well.
shit, color. I mean, hey,
He
I'm not.
basically wants to know what our favorites in the MTL arena are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, God, so many different devices do MTL formats anymore, and they're so varying. But I would say, from a pod perspective, like if you're talking about something like this,
I think he was talking RTA though. He
and
wants
that's good, and we'll get to that. But I mean, his one question may somebody else might be sitting there and going, "Oh yeah, MTL, yeah, like what do you recommend?" So this is designed to kind of touch on everybody. But if you're looking for a pod system, there's a million of them that do MTL. I'm gonna sit here and say this is probably one of the better ones out there, at least in my opinion, is the Caliburn G.
I disagree.
And that's fine because and we agree to disagree. The only and the primary reason why I would recommend the Caliburn G from a pod style MTL perspective is for the fact that it's a refillable system. It's not a closed system. So that means you can basically put whatever salt nick level you want. You can use freebase in it as well, but it's kind of got two MTL settings. One that's really really tight. So for your potentially smoking quit friends, a Caliburn will definitely be a great device because you don't have any fancy screens or crazy settings that you have to worry about. The coils, and here's my bottom line: it's the coils. The coils on the Caliburn, whether it was the OG Caliburn or whether it's the newer version, the G, because the old version had replaceable pods. The new version has replaceable coils, right? So that's really the only unique difference in the two, and a little bit of form factor design difference. But for coil life, because that's something that impacts us all, especially if you're buying coils, is that we know there's some vendors and some brands out there where them coils will only last you a few, maybe a week if you're lucky. I'm not plugging ZB though.
Just kidding.
I'm plugging Caliburn. Hey, if anybody works for Caliburn, I'll be happy to test out any of your devices.
Our email address
and give my honest review. Right. So Caliburn, Uwell, which is the company, Uwell makes them. Uwell makes lots of good stuff. They got the Crown tanks and a lot of other things. So they have a pretty decent reputation in the vape community.
Hold on, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Brian, what is your recommendation for an MTL device, RTA?
For an RTA, I actually do like the first Aries and actually the second one. It comes with all the tools you actually need to actually build it.
The Aries 2 is nice.
It vaped really well, especially on I actually used it on one of my older mechs. Vaped very well. I used stainless steel wire on it. Never had an issue. Pod wise, I use my Aegis pod. I use that all the time. But I did have another malt to lung that I actually really liked, which was it was an RDA, which is actually the let me look it up again. It was give me like a second here. The Berserker.
Berserker's very nice. Their new one's really nice.
Yeah, the really small one. That one actually worked very, very well on a Squonk too. Those are kind of like the three I kind of rotate through. One's a tank, one's an RDA, and one's a pod.
Yeah. Tom, MTL for you, buddy.
Oh, mine's way simpler. I like the Aries 2
The Aries 2
and the Gata from QP. They're both small, easy to work with, easy to build on. The Aries 2 comes with, like Brian said, everything you need, including wire and cotton. It's a fantastic system. The Gata is a little more spendy, but it works really well too.
Yeah.
For pods, I like the Caliburn G and the Freemax Max pods.
Yeah, to answer Mike's question, what's the best pod system? I think that's a subjective question every time it's asked.
I have an answer to that too. The best pod system is whatever you use to keep you from smoking.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah.
One RDA, which it was called the Salix. It was made by the same people who I'm gonna have to find it again. It was it's a single hole RDA. It's actually really, really good. Super easy to build on. very, it comes with a squonk pin and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it was actually made in, I think it was made over in Europe, I think. But it's called the Salix.
Okay.
Gonna find-
So from an RTA perspective, for me, the only one that I can really kind of comment on is, and it was just thrown up in the comments. This is the Berserker V2 on the mix. This is an MTL RTA that comes with a bunch of different airflow inserts that you can tinker with. But I'm hoping to get my hands on the Thunderhead Creations Torn MTL that it was just released. Apparently, that one is, I think, a little bit more productive. I would give the Berserker probably about a 7 out of 10 as far as an MTL device. Really easy to build on. It's just basically 2 posts, and you install a single coil, 2.5 millimeter. And it's got these little plastic inserts that go over the primary airflow on the deck. And you can take it all the way down to, I think, below, like a 1 millimeter airflow hole, and then it'll go all the way up to 2, and you can switch those out. So I would say the Berserker for me, this is the V2, gets probably about a 7 out of 10. So if you're into that, watch a couple reviews on the Berserker.
Get over it. These are our favorites.
I haven't
So far.
my favorites. Jesus, Tom.
Well,
Okay, if you're not on,
Call me your asshole, man.
all right, asshole. If you're not on the budget, I'm gonna have to recommend the K-Fun, hands down. If you want something you're not gonna have to worry about, you're never gonna have to deal with, it's not gonna leak, it's not gonna give you any issues. K-Fun, but you're looking at about 115, and if you can find one, good luck finding one. The second one would be the Amit. I really enjoy it. I still own it. I don't know if you could still get it, but it's one of my favorite mouth to lung devices. And I had to put the Zeus up there too. I have it here somewhere, but I don't know where the hell it is. But the Zeus is really easy. Again, these are all single coil mouth to lungs, really easy to install coils on, simple to wick. And that's the key issue with me is wicking. And a lot of these get a little, I don't know, some of them, now I'm trying to remember the name of the, Brian will know it. Brian, when the deck sits up above the e-liquid, is that
GTA.
the GTA, right? They had another name for it, didn't they, for a while there?
RDTAs?
Yeah, that came down from with the deck above.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but those are probably my 3 favorite. The Amit, the K-Fun. I mean, if you can find it, but the mouth to lung dot mod is a great little device. Really,
coffee in there?
Huh?
yeah, that looked like
Straight coffee in there?
Yeah, it is a coffee vape in there. That's
like swamp water.
It's really
Seamus, good night, and we'll see you next week, bud.
All right, Seamus, thanks for being here, brother.
those are my 3 favorite. Like again,
I sort of kind of feel like MTL is kind of becoming a popular thing now too. I feel like it really was. It was a thing a long time ago, and then it kind of faded out because everybody wanted big clouds and large capacity tanks and power, and then a lot of people wanted to start switching back to MTL delivery systems for those cravings, or they just like that style of vaping. So I think you're seeing a resurgence with MTL right now, and every product that's coming out within the last year, I'd say, if it isn't already MTL specific, it's somehow a hybrid thing where you can go restricted direct to lung with MTL settings. Like everybody's doing it.
yeah, the Zeus is that way. The new Zeus, the Nano tank, I think goes both ways. You could either have it mouth to lung or more of a restricted lung hit. But
See, I'm not a fan of tanks that do atomators that do that.
yeah,
Stick with one thing and do that well.
Yeah, I think that's where they
both,
excel.
Put out 2 products.
Yeah, this is that Salix I was talking about. That's made by Eden Mods, the same people who made the Rose V3, Rose, and all that stuff. Yep, Trillium tank and all that stuff. Very decent quality. Made over in England, and it came with these little inserts.
decent quality. That's fucking hands down great quality, dude.
Yeah, that's really nice looking.
And no, it's single coil here. positive, negative, and it just came in this way and went up.
Yeah.
And it came with these little inserts for multi-lung, and
Yeah, that's like the thing. Like everybody's got these new these airflow reducing things that they're
Yeah.
putting in there.
yeah, and, the deck itself is actually
The only problem I have with those is the way they're designed. If you wanted to switch, you'd have to 95% of them you have to take the coil out, re-wick it. Take the coil out, put the new insert in. So if you're switching, say some of them come with a 1 millimeter opening, then they start to go 1.5, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters. So if you wanted to switch from those inserts, you basically have to take the whole coil out, take the old insert out, put the new one in, re-wick put your coil back in, re-wick and everything, and get started back. I mean, it may not be an issue for most, but when you're out and about and you want to switch from one to the other, it makes it a little more difficult.
the very unique thing about this one is that it actually got little holes on the side where you can put your screwdriver into to have that level like that. And I thought that was like very nice touch on that.
Yeah, it does help because basically they're telling you that's the sweet spot.
Yep.
Again, to them, their opinion. You
Right.
might want.
Okay. Get over it. If you have a K-Fun in the box, take it out of the box, build it, wick it, see how it is. If you don't like it, it's just something else.
Yeah, you can't. You can't go. It's worth the money. You can't go wrong with the K-Fun. It's not going to break on you. Pieces are available everywhere.
If it's an older version of K-Fun.
Yeah, make sure it's a legit K-Fun. You're not going to have parts catch on fire. You're not going to have peak insulators burning on you. I mean, they use quality stuff, and that's the reason why you're paying, close to $125 for an RTA from them. So
Yeah, but didn't K-Fun within like the last 5 years come out with a version 2 or something?
they've got a couple versions. Yeah, they got
fairly often.
Yeah, what they keep doing is changing the. They finally made. They wanted to make everybody happy, and they finally went to 24. I think 24 millimeters because they were strictly 22s for a long time. Then people were complaining a little bit about wanting something because most of the devices were getting bigger. So they wanted a tank that was 24, 25 millimeters. So they came out with a 25 millimeter, but it's still mouth to lung. And then they went from 2 millimeters to I think 4 or 5 millimeter tanks. So yeah, I mean they make changes all the time, but
Yeah.
they sell the adapter kits too. So if you have a I forget which kit they have. They got a lot of kits that are available. You can change the glass. You can put in tank. I have mine somewhere. I don't know if my son stole the goddamn thing again, but
Here, let me share my screen real quick because I did bring this one up. So this one I've watched quite a few reviews on, and it's getting really stellar reviews. The only knock that most people are giving it is design, because some people may or may not like that honeycomb kind of sheathing that goes on around the outside of the glass tank. However, it doesn't completely obscure your view to the juice levels. I believe it's a 4 mil e-liquid capacity. It's got this interesting sort of honeycomb 61 hole primary airflow control ring, and it's got a really interesting 360 degree airflow control or AFC control ring that goes around the outside. So basically, you can tweak your airflow from everything from 0 all the way to fully open, which is like 3 little holes. But I mean, you can hit every airflow setting just by turning that dial. So there's like a channel on the bottom of the deck, and that channel starts out very narrow and it widens as it goes around the outside. Maybe it'll highlight it here. You can kind of see the channel down here, and it's got like this swooping airflow that comes up from the bottom. And then you see this, they kind of uncovered it, but here's your airflow control ring, and here's that channel. And this is maximum open. I think it's only 3 holes. It's not 6.
It's like 6.
It might be 6. But that channel gets more narrow as you go around to the other side and come here. So this would be totally closed, and then it can be slightly open, and then you can go more open as you get all the way around to the other
So
side.
it's not a full like most AFC controls are usually have like the hole on the inside, but no, sorry, on the outside.
Outside.
Yeah, when you turn it to the holes, this one's actually get reversed, and it slides in between that little like notch there. So when you slide it the one way, it slowly closes it all the way down.
Yeah, so I mean, you can micromanage your airflow
Yeah.
control.
That's actually
So-
unique.
Yeah, so I mean, this seemed really interesting to me. It comes in 4 colors. The only issue that you're going to have is this Canadian company, Thunderhead, typically makes really well made devices. Problem is, I'm having a hard time finding U.S. distribution. It's technically, I think, in some places still on pre-order.
How
so
about
it's kind of hard to find.
Saddle Horse? Saddle
Horse Blues up there in Canada. Yeah, they do. I don't know if they're going to actually sell it. I thought that they were a Twisted Messes fan.
No,
They seem to sell a lot of the Twisted Messes.
I know the owner. If you want one of those, I'll find out if he has it for you, Tim.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can talk to him. But anyway, so so I just really like the design of it. It's got different drip tip, different drip. I'm on like my 3rd water, so I'm pretty hammered. But yeah, it just has a really nice, sleek look to it. It'll look good on the Aspire Mix MTL setup. It'll look really good on that side by side right there.
Yeah.
And Phil Basardo gave it a wonderful review. Daniel from DJ LSB.
Vapes.
He gave it a really good review. I think Mike Vapes review.
you.
Now, if you watch Mike Vapes review, and here's a little helpful hint. He said, "Oh, there's no way I can get the glass out of there because of this sheath doesn't come off." Well, that's not true. There's a little screwdriver that comes in the kit, and if you just put the screwdriver right in here, right in these top holes, right about where the glass meets the top of the top of the tank, you can just kind of pop the glass right down. So you can replace the glass. There is a way to do it.
Well,
Anyway.
at 2 mil capacity as an MTL, it's
Still lasts a while.
yeah.
Yeah, 4 mil is a lot, and you can't change. There is no bubble glass. It's a straight glass tank. So anyway,
All right,
so you guys might want to check that one out.
Side by side nod, that'll be
I'll
perfect.
shut up. Yeah.
All right, children of the corn. It's that time of the show.
Oh.
Question: does anyone feel like having like a humming honeycomb airflow on the very bottom versus like a wide open, or like a different designs make a huge difference?
I think it takes
Oh,
the
you're right.
swoosh. It takes
It
the
is 2
swoosh
mil. You're
out.
right, Dan.
Right, but the different
That's
designs.
about it. That's about it. It's a smoother. I feel
Yeah, I think it's about air dispersion, so it doesn't whistle. It kind
It's
of
a little quieter.
Yeah.
That's about it.
yeah, you don't get that sound.
But as far as overall performance
The sound I hear every day on the Monday sports show with Brian, people are asking me if Brian's by LaGuardia Airport on the show. Hey, does Brian live by the airport? I was like, why? There's a swooshing sound every time.
Yeah, like
there is no airport there. Everything is dog sled.
Yeah. All right, children. Brian, want to say your goodbyes, buddy?
yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching and chiming in, asking questions. Don't forget to pop into the whole like giveaway thing and put the X1s and share the YouTube and share the Facebooks and make sure you do all that stuff so we can get your name in the drawing of the hats.
the drawing of the hats.
There's
The
no
drawing
hat.
of the hats.
There's no hats involved.
Shh. We need
The
multiple
drawing
hats
of the hats.
because we do the drawing 3 times.
I have multiple hats.
See, exactly. So we're not worried about it.
All right, buddy. Are you
Who's
done?
that?
Are you
Yeah.
done?
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Tim?
Oh, good. I get to go earlier than Tom.
I want to see if Tom, uses part
If
of your.
if he can one up me.
Yeah.
really, I just want to say thank you to everybody who joined us in on the stream tonight. We really love it when you guys all join in and have conversation with us, because we like talking to you. We like to acknowledge everybody here, make you feel like a part of the show. So thank you very much for the audience for tuning in again each week. Again, I can just reiterate, keep your head on a swivel, keep paying attention to your local advocacy outlets like CASA. Pay attention to the news as much as people don't like to watch the news much anymore. But we'll do our best to deliver that to you and get you up on all of the regulations that are going on, to try to give you a leg to stand on so that you can fight. And keep in mind that, it's important to all of us here. We want to continue to vape, and we don't feel as though our right to do that should be trampled upon. So fight where you can fight, even though sometimes it might just seem a little, I don't know the word I'm looking for here, fruitless. I think the moment we throw in the towel and we kind of give up is when we hurt ourselves. So be loud and be proud of the fact that you vape, but don't let the naysayers deter you. So we'll see you again here next Wednesday for news and advocacy, and the rest of us here on the panel. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Tim. Always good to hear from you. Tommy boy.
Yes, sir.
Give me more than 5 words, you son of a bitch.
Deal. I want to thank everybody for joining us in chat tonight during the giveaway for the free ZampleBox. Great hanging out with you fellers, as always. And go Packers, beat the Rams.
Oh, God, I was waiting for it.
You know what? That could have been his 5 words, and he never had to say anything else. Go Packers, beat the Rams, and you would just...
Yeah, if I knew he was going to say that, Tim, I would have muted his ass.
Good night, Dan. Yeah, no, I wanted to see the grimace on your face. That's all.
Okay, guys.
Also, tacos.
All right. You done? You done? Yeah.
Yes.
First off, thank you to everybody in chat. We love seeing you guys. We love seeing you guys talking amongst each other. It's awesome. I love seeing you guys helping each other. That's what this show is about, is the community, us helping each other, and that's what this show is about. I want to thank Tom for sharing his story with us. Thank you, Tom. I know that was hard for you. And I want to thank those 2 guys down there in the bottom, Tim and Brian, always doing a great job with the show. And we're here to help you guys, and we're here to help this community, and we're going to stay on top of things. I know things look a little bit scary right now, but we got to hang in there, stay on top of things, join CASA, pay attention to the calls of action. Don't just read them, follow the instructions, click on the links, go to them, fill out whatever you have to do. We all need to do something. We all need to be a part of this. That's it. As far as the giveaway, you got all week. I'm giving you guys all week to share this link. So you can share this link throughout the week on our next show on Wednesday. Somehow, some way, Brian will figure out who shared No, we will. I won't leave that all on you, Brian. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out.
I got this.
You got it. You're the stats guy. Stats guy.
If you want to better your chances at winning, bribe Brian.
Yeah,
Just
send Brian gifts.
And he splits that with us equally.
Yeah.
25% each.
25%. But then again, guys, thank you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Give us a like. Hit that little bell there on the bottom right-hand side, and that'll notify you when ZampleBox uploads some new content. We're here every Wednesday at 7 p.m., and Tom is going to give us the times in the rest of the time zones.
Why do you look confused?
What state do you live in, John?
He lives in California.
Yeah, and 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Did I say 6? Or I was thinking my other show.
Okay, go, Tom. Go.
West Coast, it's 6 p.m. In Mountain Time, it's 7 p.m. Central Time, which is the only one that really matters, it's 8 p.m. And East Coast, it is 9 p.m.
And if you live somewhere else, Google it.
Google it. Thank you again, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time. Where, guys? On the ZampleBox YouTube channel.
Bye.